Hello and welcome to this week's episodes of The Calling. Follow your spirit all the way in. I'm your host, Homaya. Join me in this journey of self-awareness, soul frequencies, and spiritual revelations. Let's fly.
Yes, it's happening. Welcome. Yeah. Oh my God. Although we were speaking like 2 minutes ago, now the energy is in and I'm like hyper excited again. Welcome.
Do you know what? As you start, like you feel hyper excited, and I felt like coming in. I was like, I feel like we could just sit here and people would receive, like just you and I in presence and energetic connection together. For me, it always feels like a gift to be in presence with you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. And of course, this is such a similar, deep, beyond this body, beyond this life. I keep on feeling, wow. Whether it is about us working together in the past, whether it is you being now a guest in Golden, the Great Gathering, as I decided to lock this description, it is so clear that this is a soul contract. And a soul contract is about me, and it is about you, and it is way beyond me and you. When someone is signing a contract, to manifest, to commit full commitment in this life, because it is anchored so clearly in the creation, like pillars of creation. Of course, the ripple effect of it is undeniable.
And
Ooh.
and one thing that you've heard me say a million times is I'm not willing to deny my soul. And this is the thing for me with soul contracts is it is felt. Like it is felt in a moment. It is felt in an instant. And sometimes it doesn't make sense why we feel the pull so deeply, so powerfully, that call to say yes, that call to not need to know any more of the details or how it's going to play out. But it's that soul resonance immediately. And that we've shared this on a previous podcast we recorded together of like we felt it when we each heard each other's names. And then when you brought forward the invitation for me to attend the Golden and to come speak on the stage at Golden, that same essence, that same energy was like, yes, I'm there. Like, yes, this is it. Like, yes, like I'm coming. Yes, let's do this. And it does feel like what you said, it feels like an ancient remembering. It feels like, oh, this was already in place. Like our human is now catching up to what our soul has decided long ago.
How am I going to do this podcast recording? Because I keep on having shivering after shiver after shiver after shiver. I feel that this conversation is so important.
I felt it
So
when you said the great gathering. It literally, like the energy just moved right up here through my whole being. The moment you said the words, the great gathering, I was like, let's just breathe into that because that is what this is.
exactly. And as I had a conversation with Sophia and I had a conversation with other people who are tuning into this field that has nothing logic in it, nothing until now. And we are like, I don't know, 28 days more or less before. It keeps on being illogical. It almost feels like it wants to shake something really big. And it feels, many people are saying to me, it's a field that's going to change the trajectory. I know the energy that I'm bringing, and I know what I wish to create, but with the awareness of how the field is taking it, wow. This is one of the reasons when I said, okay, I know that it is a great gathering. I know it's a great gathering. I got that message long ago. I got that message when the template of the intuitive, the light activator came to me. I got the message. You need to gather the people and give it to them so they will awake, so they will connect, so they will have the meaning. And whenever I speak about it, people are saying, oh my God, I feel I am in that field already. I feel that this piece is important. So yeah, it is beyond me and you. It is beyond the soul contract. It's our soul contract and everyone's present soul contract.
Yeah.
I less like to use the words remembering, but there is something in it. It's a combination of remembering and surrendering to the futuristic and simultaneously the ancient or beyond time knowing that you have inside of you.
And I feel as well, I've had some people message me since they knew that I've been coming, like since they found out that I'm coming, they message and same thing, like feeling that essence. I've also had some clients that said yes before they knew I was coming. And they were like, I felt your essence in this offering. I felt it before I even knew. And this is like, this is it. People really tuned into the energetics and the frequency of golden. And it's fascinating as we say this because I feel like people who are in the energy, in that frequency with us, like it's undeniable. They feel it. And then recently I've had some people who don't really know me. They don't really know what I do. Like they know me from like passing me at the gym or something, just in ways that they know me in passing. And they've asked like summer plans, and I say like I'm going to speak at this event in Portugal and then traveling to the south of France. And they're like, "Oh, like traveling to Portugal to speak, like that's just so fun." And I'm like, I don't actually say this, but I don't be like, "You don't understand. It's not just like speaking at an event in Portugal." I'm like, it is like beyond speaking at an event. It's like there's just so much more.
Yeah. It's a great gathering. And I knew when I knew I'm gonna stretch myself and build a bigger stage, I was, the first person, I was just like, it was so clear, you're coming. And I know that there was also no question from your side.
There was no question. There was no question from my side. It was an immediate yes. And one thing that's really fascinating as you say these words, like I stretched myself to build this bigger stage. This is the frequency I'm in right now, is like stretching capacity for everything from like some leap of faith moments, some trust falls with God, to stretching my capacity and holding and honoring my sacred yes and my sacred no, stretching my capacity. I mean, even the journey I'm about to embark on in the next 28 days, coming to Golden. After that, I'm making a move across the country. After that, my book is being released into the world. So I feel like similar to you in this, like the capacity that's being expanded right now in both of our energy fields. But this is something that's very collective as well. It's like people
Yeah.
really in this space of like that willingness, the willingness and the unwillingness, and that expansion, that capacity that really is, we're being called to stretch in new ways, in new depths of ownership of our truth, of the full claiming of who we are, stretching our capacity in playing with the desires and the not make sense unknown energy field.
Yeah. Okay. That really takes me so strong to paradise. And I chose this theme for Golden this year. And those who are learning with me and following my teachings and so on, so there's this description of the paradise opener as an imprint of a light activator. The one, not only there is awareness that there is something beyond, but they're almost losing your mind in a way, going out of your mind, and not because you are getting crazy or something like that. It's just because you do not accept the control of the mind to tap into a space, a new space, an expanded space. And while so many stories, and even the original story in the Bible as going out of paradise as a punishment, there's a punishment of how you're going to give birth and how much you're going to work, right? This is like the two punishment on the masculine and the feminine. I see this expansion into paradise, an act of elevated love. And when you are now speaking, and this is one of the reasons that I felt like I want Jack also to be there and communion in that space of the fearless presence. I have this sentence that I'm saying many times. It's not that the universe as the courageous. This is just half of the truth. The universe favors those who walk with their heart. It's not about the courage.
Yeah. But it does take courage oftentimes to walk with your heart, to walk unwaveringly with your truth, to lead with your faith. And I think this is that piece for me where it's like being courageous and being brave and being bold, because oftentimes what we are called to do as spiritual leaders and teachers and in these conversations is to go beyond into places where many haven't been willing to go before. It's the reclaiming of that voice that we've been persecuted from speaking our truth before. And so that for me is that like piece around being courageous and being brave. It takes courage and bravery to truly lead from your heart, to truly lead from your soul. And even as you say the word, or as I said the word heart there, this is where I think sometimes heart-led leadership isn't taken to that depth. It's like doing what feels good or what feels nice or what feels, and it's like sometimes it's not sometimes, like I feel it's deeper. It's deeper. It's like often call this the portal behind the heart, where we're accessing the vastness of the universe within and the God within. And that means that sometimes to stand in your truth, it's wildly uncomfortable. That means sometimes standing in your truth that things aren't going to look the way that you thought they were going to look. I had a very recent experience of this that to be honest was very emotional, was very like, oh, you thought that this was going to happen and this your voice was going to be brought to the world in this way, and all of a sudden in a moment it was like, I'm going to use the words taken away from you. That's what it can feel like at the human level and at the soul level. And what I can see in hindsight just a few months later, like, thank God. Like, thank God it didn't go the way my human wanted it to go. The human, like, that was trying to control that pathway, because that ultimately would have led to a compromise in my truth, a compromise in my voice, like a sacrifice in my voice, dilution of my words and my frequency, which I am just absolutely unavailable for.
Yeah. So, what comes to me is how many times we engage with something that we know that this is our soul contract, or we feel, or we hear it, we sense it, we go for it. And then in so many reasons and so many stories, we block it in the middle. Sometimes I'm looking at people, and sometimes, of course, also on myself, and I'm getting better and better. Although so many times I gave everything because I knew that this is not the path to continue. But you see sometimes that the faith or the trust is understood as a concept. You can mentalize it, but not necessarily you have the trust for it in the throat, not necessarily you follow it in your heart. Many times you close it on the second chakra, you close it when it gets to cash, you close it when it gets to act. You trust, but you don't trust fully.
And what I see in this, it's like, I see this a lot actually. It's like I have the faith or the trust as soon as I make the decision, but then not beyond that. So then I don't trust to follow through. I don't trust in the intuitive nudge I get after, because I may make the decision that feels like faith, leap of faith moment, feels like the trust fall with God. But then beyond that, my human comes in, and the human comes in and wavers, and the human comes in and questions, and the human comes in and wants to control things, and the human comes in and wonders the how. And so for me, I feel like it's okay, make that move, make that decision, but that's not where it ends. Like that is truly just the beginning. It's got to go beyond that, so that they're going forward. Each step is taken in faith. Each step is taken as a reclamation of who you are, honoring self.
Yeah. Many times I'm saying to myself when I feel, I'm shaking sometimes. Okay, I've done it. Then, okay, I invested there. Okay, I signed in that. Or, okay, I gave it up. I rejected. I disconnected. And the mind can come, and it is okay. I keep on saying to myself, it is okay that the mind will have some questions after it is done. It is okay that it will take time to the physical body, mental body, emotional body, and even spiritual body to digest that move. in a different rhythm and in a different time frame, I can still hold space for that.
And that's
How do you
important.
feel?
I think that's absolutely important, because what tends to happen again in these moments, it's like, okay, I've made the leap of faith moment or decision, and then I feel a little bit of pressure. I feel a little bit of whatever it is, my, like you said, mental body, emotional body is catching up. And then that's where we typically compound. It's like, then we feel bad about ourselves for having that thought, or we shame ourselves or feel guilty or think now we've totally ruined the manifestation or whatever it is, because we make it mean something that we're human. And it's like, yes, I'm a divine being and a human being. And so I can make the leap of faith decisions, moments. I can have those moments, and then I walk with faith. But on that walk, it's a walk. It's a walk. It's a journey. And so if there's a pebble on the ground and I like trip over it for a second, it's not a big deal unless I let that be the thing that now stops me. Unless I'm like, oh, now I've got to start all over again. No, just like sit in awareness, sit in sacred witness of yourself. Oh yeah, this is where I tend to veer off the path. This is where I tend to sit on the side of the road. What happens if I don't make that mean anything about me, about the desire, about where I'm walking, and I continue to walk? I continue to walk. I forgive myself. If there's forgiveness, I stop judging myself for having a human moment. When I chose to come here, just as you chose to come here, as we've all chose to come here, like we chose to come here as divine beings to have a human experience. So we can't get mad at ourselves or throw a hissy fit or a temper tantrum every time we feel a human thought or emotion.
Yeah. It takes me to this many times I'm saying, okay, you can expect a challenge to come. Instead of being fearful and terrified and possessed and obsessed with the fact that maybe a challenge will come or maybe it wouldn't work, it takes me to the moment when Yuval and I, we just started our relationship, and we start the relationship, everything is honey and birds and butterfly and everything is amazing. And then after like maybe probably 3 months or something like that, there was a moment where he got nervous and he was like, yeah. And he was supposed after that to take me to a certain place. And the energy was, and I remember that he was a little bit uncomfortable with it. And I told him, it's okay. I just had the privilege to see how you are when you are nervous. I cannot buy to the idea that because there's so much love between us, it means that I would never see you nervous. I would never see you disappointed. I would never. So if I'm able to do that with him, definitely we are all able to do that with ourselves. You buy in an idea, you enter to a project, you start an experience. Can you just be in peace that there are chances that there will be some rocks on the way?
Yeah. And the way that I see this as well is any time that we experience something that I will say is an illusion of the human realm, meaning that it doesn't exist in the spirit realm. And so anytime we experience the feeling of shame, the feeling of guilt, the feeling of not enoughness, these are just 3 examples, the feeling of failure, whatever it is, like these are just some examples that doesn't exist in the divine realm. Shame doesn't exist. Guilt doesn't exist. And so if I'm experiencing it in the human realm, that means there's always an opportunity for transcendence. There's always an opportunity for growth through that feeling, because there's the opportunity to look through the lens of, okay, what's the lens I'm looking at in experiencing the shame? Oh, I'm looking through the lens of judgment. That's where we get to shift. This is where we get to shift through the eyes of love, through the eyes of God, because through the eyes of love, through the eyes of God, that experience isn't real. Like it's not rooted in absolute truth. And it can feel it feels real. It feels painful. It feels hard. It feels sad. It feels traumatic. It feels all of the things. There's always the opportunity for growth there, a breakthrough there, that transcendence there.
Yeah, because it feels sad, or it feels like a breakdown, or like the experience that you were sharing, that it really like probably distorted your vision of what is possible because you were expecting and so locked on.
Like just right there, it was tunnel vision. It was the only possibility I was willing to see.
Yes. And then that shake maybe felt uncomfortable, but it mainly felt uncomfortable to the judged mind, the judge inside that is saying, oh, this is the only thing that is happening, or the only thing that I can see, nothing else. But while this shake is happening, the heart is opening up, possibilities are opening up, the range, the spectrum is expanded. There are more colors that you've never seen before, just because of that, because the rage, the emotion, the tears, like everything is just stretched the reality.
Oh my yes. Okay, so I have to share a bit more of this with you just because of what you shared there and because it's you and I. This had to do with the book that I'm in the stages of publishing. It's going to be released to the world on October 14th of this year. And I really had the tunnel vision of the way that it was going to be brought to the world and of what the forward was going to look like, the whole path of it. And through this experience, it's actually been added into the book. It's now the forward of the book through my own voice, through my own words of the experience of where I was given an opportunity where there was the exact word was that my experience was shameful. I was given the opportunity to dilute my voice to decide, like, yeah, let's actually remove my story because it's shameful. I was given a lot of opportunity. And now that's actually become a teaching inside the book of owning my power and owning my truth and owning my voice. And so without that experience, this wouldn't even exist in the book. And I know that this book is meant to deeply serve people. So having that added experience in the book, to me, it's now the beginning of the book. At first I thought it would be the afterword, and now it's the beginning of the book. This is what I'm going to powerfully lead in. If I didn't have that experience that felt sad and disappointing and heartbreaking, to be honest. I mean, there was a lot of emotion, there was a lot of tear shed. If I didn't have that experience, I feel like I would have not been able to now bless others through the remembrance I came into with that experience.
It's the
And
graduation of writing the book.
yes,
It's the
yes,
graduation party. It doesn't feel like a party to the mind, but
yes.
to the soul, it's a graduation party.
Yes, that's what I feel. And I have to tell you, this is a maybe just for you and me moment, but I have a smile on my face because the editing team that I'm working with now and the publisher right now, we're toying with the idea of changing the title and the name of the book. And they really and one of the parts is called The Spiritual Smackdown, and they really want that to be the title of the book. And I was like, no, like I can't. Like after the conversation you and I have had about spiritual smackdown, I'm like, who knows? Who knows? I might change my mind. That might end up being the title, but you immediately came into the energy field when it was suggested.
Oh, I'm so happy to be in the book. In whatever way I'm in the book, I'm in the book. It's so funny. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It is important. I am concerned energetically that we're going out of the paradise every time we judge, every time we lose the belief in ourselves, every time we prejudge, every time we believe that we know what is right. And we cannot even get how much we do it, but we do it so much.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging the spiritual smackdown anymore. I'm releasing the judgment from that as well.
But this piece, I mean, that right there, and I love this connection and the energy and the essence you're bringing in Golden in Paradise, because like what you just said there, like we naturally like live in paradise in the frequency, like our soul always remembers. It's our human that kind of veers outside of paradise when we have judgment of self, shame, when we are not willing to forgive ourselves, when we betrayed ourselves, when we have thoughts about ourselves, when we have these thoughts of unworthiness or not being enough, or who am I? Who am I to do this and to do that's what takes you out of paradise. Not in my perspective, because you've done something wrong and you're being punished, you're choosing to punish yourself.
So crazy. It is so crazy. The disbelief that you will fill up the room in golden, the disbelief that you will find your mate, the disbelief that you will earn that and that sum, the disbelief that, and I don't know, that the book will be published worldwide and be translated to 17 languages. And then from the disbelief, we limit ourselves and we close our heart. And there's nothing stronger than an open heart. There's nothing stronger than that.
And that right there, like, that to me is the work. Like, that for me is the calling. Can I remain open? Can I remain open when I'm having trouble seeing, when it feels like there's something blurring my vision? Can I remain open when it feels hard? Can I remain open when I feel lost? Can I remain open when I don't have it figured out? Can I remain open? And the more that we remain open, the more just gets to be revealed to us, because there's a clear pathway. When you're open, there's a pathway that you can have the next piece of the puzzle, that next step, that next idea, that next whatever has a pathway to find you when you're open.
So strong. We are so busy, humans are so busy in creating what they want to themselves, where what they want can come in such a beautiful way, just not necessarily the way that they wanted it to come. Focus on manifestation and another manifestation and another manifestation, and people are focused on the way to manifest instead of this is me and that is the experience. And it will, like, how are you expecting, I don't know, you are in England and you want to get to France without crossing the sea? You're going to get to France, but get the muscles to cross the sea.
One thing I feel called to share, it feels in connection to this and maybe also taking us a bit direction, but I'll just share. One thing that has felt, something that I've really brought into my awareness, I feel like it's been there, but like even deeper and more so recently, is when you said the busyness of like trying to figure this out and trying to get this and trying to bring this manifestation to life, is I asked myself the question, is this conversation, is this podcast gonna nurture me as well? So it's not just about doing, it's that nurturing essence. Does it bring me deeper into my remembrance of self, my expression of self? And people often ask me, and I'm a projector in my human design, and when I lead events or run in person, like, doesn't that take so much energy? And like, how do you do this? And I design everything in a way that it serves me as well as serves the people in attendance. Like coming to Portugal and being part of Golden, it's truly like, it's not just for you, Homaya. It's not just for the audience. It is truly for me first. It's for me to be in that energy with myself. It's for me to have a stage and a platform and a space where I get to be so deep in resonance with my truth that I get to speak it and I get to be in that fullest expression of self. And so I say yes to the things that nurture me, that are life-giving to me. And then I have the energy. It's like I'm activated by it. Like I've got the energy and will fly across the country and speak and the this and the that. But I think this is where many, when you're talking about the manifestations, it's like many then make decisions that are not in alignment with giving them life force energy, that are not in alignment with truth. But they think from the head, like from the mind, it's in alignment with the result. And when I say they, do I do this too? Yes, we. But this is something I've been like more and more aware of. I get to say yes to the things that feel life-giving to me, that bring me deeper in resonance of self, deeper in remembrance of who I am. But anything that takes me out of that, again, like outside of this paradise, I also get to say no to.
Yeah, it is for me still in the frequency of the judgment, the judge. Oh, here is how it's safe. Here is how it's already proven. Here is what makes logic. And if there's logic here, it's already done. Someone else have done it. It's not necessarily you. It doesn't have your signature. It doesn't have your flow. Maybe you're going to get it now because you gave it a try, but it's not necessarily going to be able to be like a building block in your own creation of your own life, of your own joy. So yes, you're going to get a V, you're going to make that thing, but not necessarily you'll be able to do the next one. And imagine what is the personality that you build when you're trying to do what is safe all the time, and what is logic all the time, and what is explained all the time. The thing that you need the most, which is the trust and the faith and the confidence that comes with it, you don't give it a chance to build it up, because we always wanted to know how to do it now and what is the way. Now, okay, I've done it like that, but where is the confidence? Where is the muscles? Where are they?
I mean, they don't exist if we don't let that build, if we don't let that be part of the experience, if we don't, like I said before, like if we're not willing to walk, if we're not willing for it to be a journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really the willing to be going with the feeling, going with the intuition, going with the guts, going with the, like, especially as spiritual teachers, as spiritual beings, as light activators, we are not, I would even say, I don't know why to feel that I feel to say allowed. We cannot allow ourselves to go in places that are too much known and expected and controlled and satisfying the mind, because everything that is within the known is mental. Every word that it is within the known is mental. Every experience that you know exactly, so your mind immediately going to construct something there. And even your own personal power, knowing that what the fact that you are entering the room is going to influence the room. You don't build that energy.
Yeah. And like that right there, like what you just said there, like being in the room influences the room. I think we really underestimate our energetic powers. I think we really underestimate the frequency that's felt, experienced, shared when we're in places and in connection with others.
Yeah. So people are walking, getting so activated. People are walking honestly, lonely, and hungry. Lonely and hungry. But they want to know everything before anything is happening. Of course you're lonely. You didn't put yourself in the equation. You're not lonely because there's no people around you, because no one is understanding you, because you cannot connect. No, you yourself, you didn't take into consideration that if you enter, something will happen. This is the core of loneliness. Of course you're hungry because your mind is already satisfied with the information. You didn't allow the feeling to come in and fill you up.
And I feel like this is what happens also when we're like hungry. And if I even take this back to myself, remember when I said I had that like tunnel vision around the book? It's like I'm hungry, not even realizing it. I'm literally walking by many things that want to feed me and nurture me and give life to me. But because I'm so in the like vision of the destination, I walk by feeling lonely and hungry when there's something right beside me. If I just take a little look this way, that would feed me in this moment. And then this is where we block. This is where we block things. We don't allow ourselves to be fed, to be nurtured, to be satisfied, to be expanded, unless we can see it first, unless it's expected, unless there's control of it.
Yeah, we're safe. We're safe. We know. We know what we sign. We know how much it costs. It means it logic, the price, and what we're supposed to get. We already know what's going to... I think as I'm listening to that, I'm saying to myself, oh my God, it's not for nothing that I started with sharing that I feel that Golden going to be revolutionary. It's not only with the teachings, it's just like being in the presence of where this conversation and similar conversation, being in a room where all the people who's going to be in the room are interested in that level of freedom, in their embodiment, not as a concept.
Yes. And this is why I find spaces like golden. This is something I often hear when people are in energetic presence with me. Just like the move, it's a lot of emotion comes for it. A lot of people are like, I didn't expect that I was going to jump on this call with you and have all these tears. But when you're in spaces like this and in this presence that we're talking about energetically, why a lot of emotion tends to come forward for people is because they've just entered into like such a deep truth frequency. And all of a sudden, I see this all the time, like the transformation that happens so quickly because all of a sudden, like things just start to peel away when you're experiencing, when you put yourself in a room where you're experiencing that level, that depth, that frequency of truth, of faith, of connection, of it's a vibration that you're literally experiencing, not just learning about, not just thinking about. And this is what we do so often as humans. We're like, oh, I understand what that means to be in a frequency. Don't understand it, come experience it.
Yeah.
I honestly, and I'm gonna get a little sassy, you're like, I don't care what you get at your mind. Like, I don't care what you tell yourself. I care what you're experiencing in this lifetime. Let's move beyond knowing to experiencing.
Yeah. You don't know what will happen. What are the insights? What are the feelings? What are the places that are going to be wired? What can happen in the system if you allow yourself to be for 2 days in a space that is curated and designed for paradise consciousness?
Again, the goosebumps are back. That like full, just like in the beginning when you said like the gathering, like just moved right through my being again. And here's the thing, it's like the invitation is out there, the invitation is being extended.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to see what will happen for us in Golden, but even more, what will happen in us through Golden.
Feel that? And like the us is us collectively, us and the ripple beyond us. Experiences like this, like the, and like experiences like this, every time, every single time I've been in a room like this, not really like this because I don't think anyone's really been in a room like this, to be honest. But do you know what I mean? Like any time I've been in experiences in person, I could literally tell you each experience that even if there's like one thing that shifted for me, it's created massive transformation in my life.
Because it is without knowing, because it is from the future, from the shapeless, from freedom.
Yeah. Where like no agendas attached, no human control is there.
Yeah. Human connection is there. Field of connectivity.
Connection, unity.
For me, the energy is so felt and so clear. Do you have the stretch to open one topic that people keeps on asking me, and I feel like there's something in the frequency now that really matches it?
Let's do it.
Many people are asking me, oh, are you going to do Golden on the 8-8? It's about abundance. And I say, oh, we're not lacking abundance.
And I like anyone listening right now, if you take that to your head, there wants to be a fight to that. If you let it drop in your soul, for me, there's an absolute truth in your words and knowing in your worth in your words. We're not lacking abundance. We just may think that we are. We're not willing to see, to truly see. We're not willing to see through the eyes of our soul. We're not willing to see beyond what we've experienced, what we see right now.
There was such a beautiful moment of silence in our conversation just a few minutes ago, and it brought me to this frequency of abundance. Because in that place of silence and in that place of ease and in that place of, is IS, not EASE. In that place of, it is all here. I strongly perceive peace as a form of abundance.
Absolutely. I want to say one of the biggest forms of abundance. Experiencing peace. What a gift. What a blessing.
So if we look at paradise as abundance, because I mean, paradise as a state of mind, right? Of abundance. And we see that this connection and judging something in that abundance, whether it is abundance of noise and abundance of silence and abundance of luck and abundance of money or abundance of whatever or abundance of you, any judgment of it takes away the abundance from you. But it is so interesting. I really wonder, those who are listening, if they took this recording, how much energy shifted from where we started to where we are now. And of course we spoke. And of course we exchanged and we laughed and we connected and we brought memory and we projected to the future. But what happened is a transformation of energy where we can even speak now about judging, but there's no judgment in the room.
Yeah. And I think this is where we underestimate ourselves as humans. We get into this idea of things take time and things take this and whatever it is, and you've got to do the mindset work or whatever story it is that you tell yourself. Frequency shifts in an instant. Your life transforms in a moment when you become willing to see through a new lens, when you receive through the transmission, when you allow it to create transformation for you. But oftentimes, again, telling ourselves this lie, this story of it takes more. I need to know more. I need to do more. I need to whatever it is. When we allow ourselves to deeply receive in experiences like this, coming into that communion, that connection to the God within us, where all the answers lie, all already exists. And all exists because you exist. You, me, as divine beings, you, me, us, as the creators. We're creating in each moment.
Oh, you exist, abundance exists. You enter the room, exist. You exist, God exists to that extent.
Absolutely.
I truly hope there's like two strong feelings within me now. First, that those who listen and those who are watching can really feel the frequency that exists. And the second deep wish is that they would lead with that frequency. They would lead themselves with that frequency, because as a spiritual light, as a spiritual guide, as a light leader, as a light activator, this is what we want. We want that people will come to be in presence with us because of the frequency that we're able to generate. And that comes together with us being able to move because of frequency being generated, although there is no mental explanation to it.
And of course, you just said the word move, because I've recently led two things within my business where I was the invitation, like the strong invitation. The word was like the invitation to move. And at whatever way you're feeling called to move, to move. And one of the experiences I held, the requirement to come into the room and to sit at the table and be part of the conversation was the willingness to move. If you felt that sacred yes, that willingness, and everything from that you have the financial means to move, that you have the ability like within your being to like say yes if you feel the yes. And it was fascinating that I had conversations while I was live teaching of women who they're like, yeah, I told you I was ready to move. And like, I'm just not. And I don't even know why. And I can't bring myself forward to move, even when I feel the yes. And this right here your ability, your willingness to move. Like, it's got to be there. You're ready to disrupt things. You're ready to create change. If that's what you are saying that you're ready for, if that's what you're truly ready for, if that's what you want, you've got to be willing to move when you feel those sacred pings, when you feel that yes frequency. If not, bring this right back to the beginning of this conversation, you're in denial of your soul. You're in denial of who you are when you feel it and don't move. I feel like I create so quickly in my life, in my business, because when I feel that call to move, I don't hesitate. I don't wait for permission. I don't wait for it to make sense. I don't wait for whatever most wait for. Because for me, moving in the essence of my soul, I just can't imagine not, to be honest.
Yeah, but this is also because when you move in the essence of your soul, you move in a quantum field. You don't move in a logic field.
We wait, we go to our mind, we like try to figure it out. We want that logic to land and then move. That's not the way it works. Move and invite God to respond. Like, set the stage, set the playground. Like, that's the co-creation frequency.
I find myself saying again and again in the last few months, I would say, God, I am the ally of God.
Of course you are. Like, yes, like I'm the ally of God, nothing else required. But they're like, of course you are, I am, we are.
Yeah.
Walk. Take, if it's a leap and it's a leap and it's a leap of faith, if it's a step, like move. Stop sitting still. Stop sitting on the side of the road. Stop like being paralyzed in your own life with your own dreams, with your own vision.
And move like there's no one in the room, because in any case, there's no one in the room. There's only you.
We move and we create.
I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to the path that I personally moved through for really experimenting even more, putting to test even more this trust, the faith, whatever spiritual theory, to whatever extent, even if they were real, I stretched them. And I'm grateful for your presence. And I'm grateful that I've done it with you so much.
Oh my gosh, I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for this conversation. I'm so grateful for what we're about to experience at Golden together. Us, you, me, collectively, those who come, those who are in attendance. So thank you for moving. Thank you for leading. Thank you for creating this gathering.
A big hug soon to you and to whomever gonna be with us in person.
Whoever chooses to enter the room.
Thank you so much.
I love you. Thank you.
I'm grateful.
Thank you for listening and being part of this great conversation. You will find all the relevant links in the show notes, as well as a link to a meditation for you to feel more connected to your spirit and aligned with your soul contract. Please, if this episode touched you, leave a review, like, and subscribe. Feel comfortable to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because everyone has a calling.